What is up, everyone? Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be in the world. Welcome to another weekly installment of Tuesdays Are for Technical Analysis, featuring myself, your in-house resident toxic BTC maxi turned into DGen Uniswap shitcoin gambler, and as course, brother Ty. Thank you, Ty, again for joining us. Appreciate that, man.
Thank you, brother Matt.
How are you doing, man? How's the West Coast treating you, dog?
It's going really well. It's a ton of fun out here. Like South LA, super nice, very nice weather. Just really nice chill vibes. Everybody's out here. Got a chance to hang out with Cooper Turley. Koopa Troopa on Twitter, big DeFi guy. Got some cool things going to be doing with him. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been very enjoyable.
Definitely jealous. I mean, Miami's nice, but the West Coast always has that allure. It's always had that pull to me. Definitely gonna have to make a trip out there and visit you, bro, for sure.
Absolutely.
But let's jump right into it, guys. Exciting times here. Bitcoin, just when you think it's over, it's not. This time, it's different. Crazy Jesus candle, crazy breakout here. Just when everyone starts to get upset and miserable and depressed, we turn the ship around. So Ty, give us your breakdown of what's been going on.
Sure, man. So if you've been paying attention to, I'll see which one of these it is. Let's see. This one. So this tweet was pretty much talking about what I'm about to show on screen. Basically, what we have is what's known as a fractal. A fractal is like a pattern that is very similar to a previous pattern that resulted in a certain, well, it just had a certain result, and obviously the result that we want is desired. So the result that happened was we have this little pennant here. You can see in 2016 that actually broke out to the upside. And then from after that, pretty much went on a tear with 3,415% gains to the all-time high around 20,000. And so the reason that's important is because we have a similar fractal starting out right here, and we've already broke to the upside. And that's the reason why this tweet's getting so much love, is because people are seeing the same thing I'm seeing. But what I did also after that was take the bars pattern from the ending of 2016 or this breakout, and I applied it to our breakout here of this pennant, and it got some a little bit of coverage in Crypto Potato. Not sure. I don't know. I just recently heard about them. They're cool. They did some breakdown of my TA, so that was really cool. But it basically puts this somewhere close to like $400,000, dollars if it goes on the same trajectory, which we don't know if it will or not, but it's cool to see. So that's kind of like the little example here, and you can see closer on the 2016 bullish pennant breakout. This is what it looked like. It's just obviously you have the beginning of the pennant here, a touch to the second time, and then a touch to the third before a final breakout, and then of course same thing here happening. And then of course you go to 2020, and this is where we're at right now. So this is the beginning of that breakout, and then if we go back. And I'll just kind of come back to, let's see, 2020 here. Mm-hmm. You can see it's actually still pumping. Now, this is BLX on TradingView, Brave New Coin Liquid Index. This is not an updated chart necessarily. It does close, I believe, at a certain time, and it will reopen when the markets reopen. But regardless, it's doing pretty well. And if it follows that bars pattern, of course, we could see some crazy gains. So this is a good sign. It doesn't mean that we're out of the water just yet, because we could see some interesting movement. I mean, I don't know. I'm still on the edge, thinking that we might crash still to 9.6K. It's a bit frightening for me. I don't do a whole lot of trading right now. I don't really do a whole lot of investing right now. I'm just kind of chilling, trying to figure out what the market's going to do. So yeah, I mean, there is that. But the good news is there's a lot of momentum around Bitcoin right now. So with that being said, you could have a totally different scenario and kind of avoid the drop down to the CME at 9.6K just because of the different investments press that it's getting right now. There's a lot of good press for Bitcoin right now, so I think it could alter the future. We will just have to see. But that's kind of my thoughts on Bitcoin, and we can look at some of these articles that highlight the Bitcoin investments as well.
The gap is at 9.6 though, correct?
Correct.
It's not 9.8. It's not 10. It's at 9.
Yeah,
96.
we can look at the gap right now. Let's see if I can pull it up.
Yeah, I just want to. You know how Bitcoin is, man. The price swings are usually by the hundreds of dollars, not just by 10 or $20. So it is sometimes helpful, to have your eye on a certain $300 or $400 range, like 9.6.
Yeah, there's also a new gap in between 11,205 and 11,270. So that gap will need to be filled.
Fresh gaps.
Yep. And then, so the one I'm looking at, the biggest gap here is this one right here. Very easy to spot. It's right between 9,665 and 992. So you can see that very clearly. That's an easy gap to spot. It has not been filled. You can see if we go to the very edge of this guy, this is the lowest we got, still have some room to go. And, that gap has not been filled yet. Historically, these gaps all fill. So, for instance, there's a gap here that got filled, obviously. Let's see. There's a gap here that's gotten filled from here. You can see all these gaps will fill. This will fill as well. So it's scary when you know that, historically the gaps always fill. And we're sitting at, 11,432. A crash from here, for example, would result in about a 14% drop. So that would really hurt the markets. And that's exactly why I'm just staying out. I'm just hedging in Tether, for example. And,
Yeah, I think, at any given time, seasoned vets just expect 1,000, a four-figure drop at any given time. $1,000 drop is not uncharacteristic for Bitcoin. But, we're at 11.5, so a drop to 9.6 would be almost $2,000. Like you said, that would wipe quite a lot of value off the market. I know that the narrative that we've really been talking about, discussing, and pushing is, this pre-election market dump. The more and more I actually think about this, it might not even happen before the election. I think really what's going to be the catalyst is that kind of little constitutional crisis right around the corner where we don't know who the next president is. I think people know that. What up, Erica? I think people know that we're not going to know the next day or the next week who the winner of the election is. And 2000 aside, shout out old boy Al Gore, Florida, and all that bullshit in 2000. But 2000 aside, we usually know who the winner of the election is the next day or the next week. Right. I think now with millions, tens of millions of people voting by mail, it's probably going to be a 2-month period where we don't know who the next president of the United States is. I think that's really going to be the catalyst that forces a lot of big players, medium players, even small, retail players to take the chips off the table. So I know we've been saying, pre-election market crash, pre-election market dump. I think it's going to actually be the election dump. I don't think it's going to happen before November 3rd. And granted, it still could, but I don't know. That's just my 2 Satoshis per se.
Nope, makes sense to me.
I did in a past life of mine before crypto. At one point in time, I did care enough to study politics. So I used to be a big political junkie before having my crypto awakening, but I think that's enough political talk for
now, then, sir.
for one crypto stream. Do you want to jump into Vitalik into ETH real quick?
Sure, man. We can jump into some ETH. On some of these charts, I wanted to remove my TA that I usually prepare beforehand because I wanted I wanted to kind of show my process, like what I look for, to maybe help a little bit.
And just actually, I apologize to cut you off. Before we dive into ETH, great question here from Mark Anthony. Gentlemen, any thoughts as to when Bitcoin decouples?
Oh, well, that's a great question, actually. So let's look at Bitcoin, and then I'm assuming he's saying like decoupling from the stock market and from all these different assets. So let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at like SPX, and actually let's do. Is that a good model? Actually, let's do not compare. We'll add a symbol to our chart here. Wherever it is, where to go? Where's my XPX? Sorry, we got to find our SPX first.
It's all good. It's worth it to pull up the correct data. Mark is also saying gold will usually decouple after a while. Right now, both are correlated. Yeah, great question, Mark. Definitely super interesting to watch and kind of study. For a while, I mean, they were kind of moving hand in hand, and then there's a slight decouple, and then it kind of seems like we're right back in the same situation as before. The normie markets and the legacy markets dump, and Bitcoin does the same thing. Now, obviously, we know Bitcoin and crypto trades 24/7. No federal holidays, no Columbus Day, no Indigenous People Day for Bitcoin. But legacy markets do, operate on a Monday to Friday. I think it's it's either 9:30 to 4 o'clock, or it's 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Obviously, Bitcoin moves a little bit more than that, and Bitcoin can bounce around 24/7. But I don't know.
Sorry, if I pull up the charts here, it's just like the trading view is not working. Let's see. What the heck?
Pay for that DNS trading view. What's good, bro?
Yeah, man. What's up?
It's all good. We can jump back to that if you want to just dive.
Yeah, we'll have to jump back to it. We'll have to go to hate instead, I guess.
Do you want to cover ETH first, or just go right into suicide cults?
Well, I'm only saying that because I got hate pulled up on ChartX, but I can pull it up on ChartX. Oh, maybe I can't. I think the TradingView API is down.
Well, we can work with what you have pulled up here. If you want to just go right to applesauce and vodka, we could do that, Ty.
Yeah, well, I think we're gonna have to talk about Bitcoin and the investments, because it looks like TradingView is completely down, as in like ChartX and all the other APIs are not going to be able to pull, so including ChartX and CoinTrader Pro. So let's talk about Bitcoin again.
It's all good. It's not like we need that TradingView API to do a Trading Tuesday show.
Right? No, not at all. Not at all.
Big news, guys. A lot of big announcements in the past week. We got Stone Ridge, we got Fidelity. Ty, what are we looking at here?
Just today, actually, October 13th, we just had a big investment as part of a fundraise for Stone Ridge Asset Management. They decided to add in Bitcoin as a treasury asset, I believe. Let's see.
Random little Erica the Angel coming in here to try to save the day. I mean, if the API is down, obviously it's not going to matter what we.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, the API is down because I think the TradingView itself is down. So.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, so Stone Ridge decided so they raised another $50 million in growth equity, and then let's see, they got 10,000. So they're custodian of the 10,000 of the parents' company's Bitcoin. valued at 115 million. Okay. So yeah, this is a pretty big deal. So this is only one of the many different, scenarios that are happening now, because you had MicroStrategy, you had, obviously Stone Ridge, you had Square. That was another one. In fact, we'll pull it up.
So right I think Square was kind of the first one, right? That said last week.
Yeah. So Square announced last week that they had put 50 million, I believe, into Bitcoin. So Square had already obviously been, they have Cash App, and Jack Dorsey himself is a big believer in Bitcoin. But for them to, put that on their, their corporate books, so to speak, is saying a lot. It's a very big vote of confidence for Bitcoin. Think about it for a second. Gold is it's a no-brainer, right? Gold is a no-brainer. It's been around for thousands of years. That being an asset, it's easy to understand like why people could diversify into gold, right? But we're looking at Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is only an 11-year-old asset. And yet there's companies like corporations taking a huge flyer on Bitcoin, using it as their treasury asset. So if you're not a Bitcoiner, you have to start asking yourself, what do they know that I don't? Right?
Exactly.
Let's try.
It seems like they're just trying to out FOMO each other. Like Square Cash jumps in, Fidelity jumps in.
Oh yeah, Fidelity just had their press release, another Bitcoin thesis, drop earlier. So yeah, they're doing a lot. In fact, Fidelity.
Really what I'm waiting for, man, and I think they already started like airdropping it randomly with like a lotto system. When that digital yuan goes live, when China's digital like national currency actually like hits the books and goes live and people start transacting with that, I think that's going to create a massive domino effect where bunch of countries and nations try to dogpile in and, to be second to market, third to market, fourth to market, whatever. But I think when that happens, man.
Sorry, I think actually, so I thought the trading view might be down, but for whatever reason.
Did you see the link I posted in the private chat? Try that out, Ty. See if you can get that one to work.
Okay, so I think the problem was actually somehow a hotspot enabled itself, or a VPN. So we might be able to fix the charts here. Let's see.
The problem with being a true crypto DJ, you don't know if your hotspot's going to go live and connect you to servers in Tahiti, or is BitMEX going to find out that we actually are in America? And
right. All right, so we're back.
Arthur and Ty, getting handcuffed. But okay, we are back. Let's go.
All right, so what I wanted to look at before we had the problems was the comparison, and we'll look at that from Mark Anthony. So let's do that. So I want to look at DXY, which is the US dollar currency index. We'll look at, let's see, DJIA, futures. And then let's look at gold.
Let's do it.
All right, let's kind of sort these out.
Look at this clusterfuck we've created here.
Yeah. Let's see. And then we'll turn our Bitcoin here.
Thank you, Mark. I can't see the link you sent, but I appreciate it. It's the thought that counts. Ooh. We got a lot going on here. So you have pulled up here, you have Bitcoin, you have gold.
All right. So yeah. So what I want to kind of point out. So our Bitcoin is actually this guy down here.
Okay.
So if we look at some moves recently, our DXY is this orange guy here. So you can see as the DXY goes down, not necessarily in value, but just in price on the index, you can see Bitcoin is actually going up. And so Bitcoin is obviously asymmetric to the dollar, as most assets are. But you can also see, so gold here is this gold line. You can see it correlates pretty well with Bitcoin, although, yeah, you can see these before the Bitcoin drops, you can see gold is dropping. And then keep in mind, obviously, like, gold is trading on regular days. Bitcoin is 24/7.
Right. So obviously the data is not going to match up perfectly. And then what are the other two?
So this one here, this is the Dow Jones futures. Okay. So this is kind of like stupid because the Dow Jones apparently just doesn't follow any correlation. It just does its own thing.
When you have an unlimited money printer,
right,
rules don't really apply to you when you are the money printer, and when you can actually fully control markets. Exactly. Normal rules, correlations, and expectations don't really apply. What up, Justin Sun? Glad to have you in the chat.
I was like, oh, Justin, did you see the last video we did?
Oh, Justin, can you tune into our last video where we
check that out? Get
on you for 10 minutes with
okay, so yeah, so I mean the thing is, it's going to correlate pretty strongly with the stock market. All these things are propped up anyways. I mean, Bitcoin's probably the least propped up out of all these assets, including gold, by the way. JP Morgan was obviously caught rigging. Was it gold and silver futures?
I know it was silver for sure. It might have been both. Silver. But wow, what a sign of the times if that's the quote of the day, is Bitcoin is the least propped up.
Right, exactly. No, isn't that crazy though? Because, you look at the dollar, okay, dollar's propped up, obviously. You look at the Dow Jones, the stock market as a whole, okay, obviously propped up. Gold and silver, those futures have been rigged, right? So what is left? You have Bitcoin. You have cryptocurrency. The last free market is essentially cryptocurrency. So
I mean, free markets are dead in America, bro. The J-Pow canceled the recession. Stocks only go up. There's no free market in this country anymore. The Fed literally bought up the market. The stock market is the Fed. The stock market is
the Fed is now. I think they're actually the majority holder of the stock market at this point.
Literally straight facts, no cap. But like, I understand the argument. I understand that people want gold. Gold's been around. People are always going to use gold. We get it. Okay, boomer, legacy markets, whatever. I'm not saying gold is going to zero. I'd recommend you hold a portion of your wealth in gold, but I just think when you zoom out on a bigger time frame, Bitcoin is going to absolutely destroy gold in terms of percent gains, in terms of dollar gains. No matter how you want to split it or look at it, Bitcoin is going to outperform gold.
Yep.
I don't know. That's just my 2 cents.
Would you guys consider the DJI an antiquated market?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, absolutely. That's like the mascot for legacy markets.
Yeah, I mean, the Fed owns everything, let alone the bond market.
They literally just printed themselves a blank check, basically. I mean, it's an unlimited money printer, and I don't want to go down this road too much. We've talked about it a lot on the channel, but I mean, when you control a money printer that's unlimited, you cannot lose. You can't lose, and
you control the winners.
You pick the winners, exactly. Before we go into suicide sicko mode here, do you want to cover ETH a little bit, or are you sick of ETH 2.0 2030?
Let's do it. Let's cover some ETH. ETH's good. It's a consistent asset. Consistent in the fact that it has fundamentals to back it up. So let's look at this from a macro view. see where we're at right now.
A little macro action.
So obviously, first things first, we need to do some fib retracement levels. So I like to go from the top here and drag it down to the bottom, our trough. So from the peak to the trough, this is kind of where we're at. It's actually, I mean, if you look at this, like Ethereum is, it's very hot. You know, this is exactly where you want to be. The buy zone is always the 786 and 618 between those. So we're above that with a really good size pump here, and we've caught support at the 50% retracement level. So that's solid. So let's see what happens if we look a little closer. See what kind of patterns are forming here. Something.
Show me the whispers. Show me the secrets in the charts.
So that's solid. You could. It's kind of a weirdish pattern, but what's going to be our next major resistance is really around. You got these two here. Let's say right around there.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of what you've got forming. Now, what I think is going to happen is Bitcoin's going to kind of go sideways for a little bit, or I don't know, just kind of hang out. If that happens, we'll probably just exit this to the downside, stay above the 50% retracement, trade sideways until finally, you know, getting some ground, and then, you know, pushing past 382 at 469, and then, sky's limit.
Sky is the limit. The only limit is the ETH 2.0 launch date. No, yep. I'm trolling. Obviously, we love ETH. We need ETH. There's really no way around it. If you do want to play in the Uniswap casino, you are basically forced to purchase ETH. Now, obviously, there's a lot of vaporware on Uniswap. Most of it's garbage, but Ethereum has proven itself over the course of time. Obviously, we're a little partial to Bitcoin, but you know we always got to show some love to Granddaddy Vitalik.
True.
Nice, very nice buys there. Down at 339, Justin.
Nice.
Just don't tell the Tron boys.
Yeah, a little bit above the 50% retracement, so that's solid.
Very nice. Very nice. Any other blue chips left, or is it time to go down a dark road, Ty?
I think it's time to look at maybe Link first, and then we'll go down the dark road.
Let's do one more top 10 coin for the people before we really start going on a tangent.
So
what's going on with Link, bro?
Yeah, man. So what we got going on here is, I mean, this is parabolic here, but it kind of looks like it has done its retracement down to $7 from 20, which, by the way, Erica ended up selling like all of her Link at like the top.
Erica, literally the hidden Link dev, selling the top.
She must have insider information. I don't know.
Insider alert.
Yeah. So we're doing pretty well with Link. In fact, let's see, you could draw this boy right here.
This boy. And
if you do that, then you got a breakout here. Now, if you get rejected at the, what is this, the 786? If you get rejected here, it's probably going to go back down to the 618 at 735. But if you get a move up above 1140, it looks like 1144, and a close probably on the daily or the weekly, then that looks solid, and I would take a spot on that if Bitcoin and Ethereum kind of hold up, because Link will eventually break $20. I have a lot of confidence in that.
Yeah, I mean, Link, boy, seems just like yesterday, really, when kind of everything exploded. I mean, you can't really deny or ignore the fact that Link really did kind of lead the charge there. And I mean, after that, man, the whole explosion happened with all the DeFi, all the Uniswap. But I mean, it's still going strong. It's back above $10, so keep an eye on it. I mean, you can make decent money off a Link. It is a top 10 coin. It does make decent swings. There is some volatility there. There's a lot of eyes on it. So from a trader's perspective, Link's a great coin to watch and to jump in and out of. Absolutely.
So I got one more actually we can look at. We did this a while ago. We called it early on, but it's TRB.
Oh, TRB, great. Just after I sold all my TRB, Ty is going to cover it again, but it's all good. Guys, you can profit while I cry.
Right. So TRB got hit pretty hard. It went to the peak at $100. Wow. Now, as soon as it got launched on Binance was when it really started to tank from there. And we called it what, like $13, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Something early. But right now it's doing pretty solid. Had a really good bounce from the bottom, which is it's already at like a about almost 100% return if you bought somewhere down around 13, 12. It passed through the 786 like butter, which is great. It looks like it's going to beat this little resistance here, which is also great. So it looks like it's probably super oversold because of the dump. If it stays above what looks to be 24, 25-ish, then it looks like it can make another jump past the 618 at 28. And then from there, it looks golden. That looks like a V-shaped recovery to me. So
V-bounce, recession canceled.
Let's see what the RSI says.
Go long on Link.
Oh, yeah, look at that. I mean, that RSI is oversold down here. So that's exactly what happened. It still has a lot of room to grow because it had a big bounce down there. Yeah, this is super oversold down here. So, and it's not even overbought yet. So it's pretty solid. TRB looks like a pretty good bet if it stays above 25.
Keep an eye on it, guys. Keep an eye on it. And Ty did call that extremely early. That was one of the first coins ever that we covered during the DeFi Uniswap explosion. So hats off.
Let's see, what was that percentage gain? Let's see. I think we called it like 9.
Oh, it was either single digits or like, yeah, maybe around 10 or $11. And this fucker ran to what? $80, $100?
$100. It's a 920% gain.
Holy shit, bro.
Well, that was a good pick. Hopefully we get more in the future. But
put the pump on the coin, bro. Let's put the pump on the coin.
Yeah, get the pump on the coin. That's all I got to say.
Get the pump on the coin. Mark is requesting Cosmos. If you do want to cover Cosmos quickly.
Cosmos. Is it on here? Let's find out.
I believe it's on there. It's a pretty big.
Is it Adam?
Yeah, it's Adam.
Yeah, I think it's Adam, yeah. Great.
I got you, Mark. Don't worry.
It's got a lot of price history. Let's see what we got here. Wow. Okay. So it had a huge retrace down to the 382, bounced straight back up to the 236 above it. I mean, besides your resistance here, I mean, this is now. If you look here, I'll show you. You can see the bottom of this wick here. Oop.
Oh, oopsie.
Let's see. Oh, let's drag that down. The bottom of that wick is also the bottom of these two candles. Then your next resistance looks like right about here. So you're looking at like 687. So far it's doing pretty good. It's holding support right now. This is on the weekly, mind you. So this is pretty solid. In fact, the RSI on the weekly is really great. There's a lot of room for growth there. So the next resistance is at 689. After that, I mean, if it breaks and just keeps going, you're looking at a new all-time high soon. So Adam looks promising.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, my boy has been showing me on Adam for months.
I probably didn't take a look.
But I think it's time to go down a dark path, brother. If you're good
Going down there.
covering the blue chips, legal disclaimer following the next segment of the Trading Tuesdays are for technical analysis show. Anything covered here on out is not financial advice, not legal advice, purely entertainment purposes only. You guys know the spiel. I like meme coins. This next one, I wouldn't call it a meme coin. Maybe the origin is a little memey. If you're familiar with the original Heaven's Gate, which you might not be, a lot of you guys weren't even alive in 1997. Basically, it was this crazy religious cult that believed that this comet that basically orbits Earth every 2,000 or maybe it's 2,500 years, the Hale-Bopp comet. These 39 people were convinced that if they killed themselves at the same time, they were going to teleport to a UFO that was trailing behind the comet. 39 people actually did end up killing themselves. I'm not sure if they made it to the UFO or not, but that's the original Heaven's Gate. Fast forward to 2020, and we now have a coin called Heaven's Gate. And boy, what a motherfucking roller coaster this one has been. The first thing that really drew me to the project is the extremely low supply. There's only 1,997 coins as owed to, the original incident that happened in 1997. So when I first looked at it, I was just like, okay, whatever. There's only 2,000 coins. Doesn't even matter if this project succeeds or not. Whatever. We just need 2,000 people each fighting over owning 5 of them. Shit's gonna moon. Then once you actually start diving into the Telegram, you start looking into the team. I mean, the team's anonymous. No one knows who the team is. That echoes a lot of similar projects in the space.
Probably the people who actually made it to Heaven's Gate.
What'd you say?
So it's probably the people who actually made it to Heaven's Gate and on the UFO right now.
The real Heaven's Gate trusted the plan. But what's really cool is they launched the version 1 of the token, and one of the biggest issues with the token is the liquidity, right? Obviously, with only a little less than 2,000 coins, liquidity is a big issue. The coin was originally an airdrop, so with the version 1 of the coin, there wasn't that much liquidity available, and anyone could jump in there. Myself, guilty of this, could jump in there at 5, 4, 6 a.m. and pump the coin with just a very small amount of ETH. But the fucking genius thing that these crazy occult, I don't even know if crazy is the right word. Crazy is really an understatement to this community. They launched a version 2 of the token that implemented something new in the space. Maybe if you've heard of it or aware of it or another concept, let me know. But they basically created this protocol called Proof of Gate. Now, what Proof of Gate is, it's a 2.5% tax on any transaction, a buy, sell, or a send. What it does is it accumulates all those 2.5 fees. It holds them in a pool. I think the original plan was once it got to 5 hate, they would sell it and then permanently lock that to liquidity. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they lowered that down to a 1 hate threshold. So they basically charge this 2.5% tax on all transactions. And then once it hits a certain threshold, they permanently lock the accrual of all those fees into liquidity. So in the first day alone, they locked up over, I think it was over $200,000. Now it's probably over $30,000 in the first 2 days into liquidity. So although it's fun to meme, it's fun to troll and, post stickers in the Telegram and just, confuse the shit out of all the new people. And it's fun to have a good time. The project itself is actually working on serious shit and is pushing different groundbreaking things in the space. They're also doing a ton of cool stuff with NFTs, rewarding, token holders, people that provide liquidity.
So basically, to solve the liquidity problem, they just tax the system for any transactions and then put that liquidity that they got from those taxes back into the liquidity pool. So they can basically keep the supply low, which is ideal, and still have enough liquidity to facilitate trades.
Absolutely. So the supply is always capped at 1997. There's no hidden mint function. I know that's the meta these days. You
How did
know,
Chop go? Somebody said.
yeah,
I'm
how did
curious.
Chop?
Look at
You're
that.
welcome for the Uniswap bailout. Chop didn't work, but I
Chop
mean, we
didn't
did
work.
call it at like
Did they
two,
rug
three
pull?
cents, and it ran to 10 cents. So I mean, we'll tell you when to buy. We can't tell you when to sell. But oh shit, what were we talking about, Ty?
Well, we were talking about Heaven's Gate and the protocol, and the fact that they are taxing the system and it's unique. I haven't seen anything like it either. The big thing, okay, so obviously the big thing, is obviously having enough tokens for liquidity purposes, but also keeping token supply low so that you don't dilute the token value. It's kind of like a fine line. So I do like the idea of just taxing the system, putting liquidity back in. So as long as the liquidity is not being taken and just thrown into somebody's random wallet, you know what I mean?
Right, absolutely. I'm sorry, that was the point I was making. Even though the supply is capped at 1997, there'll never be any more hate created. What gets locked to liquidity, that's permanently locked. So even though it's technically still available, it's part of the supply. You can go buy it on Uniswap and drain the liquidity if you want to buy it all up. The cap is set at 1997 coins. So even though that's what first drew me, and I'm sure a lot of people to the project, studying it over the past week, the crazy emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual roller coaster that it's been. But once you actually peel down the layers, they're actually working on some cool shit. So again, obviously not financial advice, DYOR, but this is one that a lot of influencers, a lot of big dogs jumped on board. There's a lot of hype around it. The community has a crazy different type of passionate energy that I haven't seen in a lot of other projects. So obviously be careful, be safe, but check it out.
Sounds good. Let's look at the TA.
Yeah, let's pull up the charts. Boy, you guys are going to love this chart. Let's see. You got it up there, brother Ty? Thank you.
Yep.
Whew.
All right. So interesting. I mean, from a chart standpoint, it has all the things that you want to see, on here. So let's take a look at some indicators. Pull up RSI, for example. I want to see. I bet you it's pretty standard. Yeah, it's pretty consistent. You have some peaks here and there, but for the most part, it's a pretty consistent recovery. This will probably come down to the end of this little white line here. And so what's happening is, I don't know if anybody remembers, but on Link had a similar looking chart at one point back when they were around, I think 11, or $7 actually. I'm going to try to recreate it, kind of give you an idea of what I'm referring to. It was something like this. Might have been something like this. Yeah, something like that. But basically what it is it's kind of like an ascending wedge is what it's called. So in this ascending wedge, what happens is you just kind of keep funneling into the top of this wedge here until finally it breaks above it. Now, because there's such a limited supply on this token with 1,997, I mean, for instance, YFI, I believe, how many tokens does YFI have? In the tens of thousands?
It's just below 30K, I want to say.
Right.
It's not 28,000, but it's 29,000 and something.
Right. So very low supply. I mean, this is even lower. And if you can obviously solve the liquidity issues and have a real utility for it, just being low supply in general is pretty good utility, honestly. I say utility, but utility could be anything that's you can use it for, So it's pretty solid. I think it'll bounce on this ascending wedge line, and then just kind of get stuck into the 786 here at 675. If it breaks above this and holds, I say there's a good possibility that it also breaks 823 and then just starts new price discovery. And at that point, when you're a new price discovery and you also have a very, very small amount of tokens circulating, that is a recipe for success.
Yeah, so I mean, 800 definitely critical level to watch. This chart here might not be fully zoomed out. I think the old ATH was maybe 1200 or 1400, so it'd have to break above there to truly enter new price discovery mode. But definitely keep an eye on it in this range of 600 to 800 for sure.
Yep.
Let's see. I don't know if I want to give you guys this next project. I don't know if I want to put you guys on to this project.
Well, let's look at Chop for a second.
Oh man, Chop is so fucking dead in the water.
Oh no.
No, it's literally never coming back to life.
Oh no, there's no liquidity anyways.
Maybe if I could convince the devs to like just burn maybe half the supply.
I mean, there's no liquidity. There's no trade.
This one's wrecked. This one's fucked. I'll take full responsibility for it. I fucked up, but I mean, we gave it to you guys early. This thing ran to like 10 cents twice. It's still pumped. I could tell you when to buy. I can't tell you when to sell, but yeah, I mean, this one, took the L on that. Thank God for that little Uniswap bailout, though.
What a roller coaster of emotions.
Oh yeah, just there's no level to the Ponzi that I will not partake in. Give me the highs, give me the lows.
I'm gonna go buy up all the top BRB.
Give me the love, give me the hate. Yeah, Chop's dead.
We can take a look at XRP real quick too, because somebody mentioned that. Let's see. XRP.
I'll put him onto the free game, even though you guys are just gonna troll me and whatever. If it helps one person, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Well, XRP kind of looks decent. Not gonna lie. I mean, it's a break above a long forming channel to the downside. I mean, it broke above pretty convincingly, and it looks like it's about to make another move up. If we looked at Fibonacci levels, what does that say? Yeah, I mean, you can see it right here. It dumped below that Fibonacci level. It's trying to get some support above it. Didn't work out. That's 618. I mean, this is the buy zone right here. But anywhere between 786 and 618, that's where you want to buy. So if you can see like a close, or if you can see like a good rally going up above the 618 at 28 cents, might be worth it to take a look. Never know. It's like one of those crypto things, where it could just pump regardless, just because of the name.
Yeah, we jumped right from hate to Ripple. It's kind of difficult to tell which one's the suicide cult, which one's Ripple. But
yeah, I know.
Kidding. All jokes aside,
facts though.
Low key facts though. I noticed the viewer count just jumped. Drew, if you retweeted this, thank you. Hate occult cultists. If you guys are joining this, thank you. We did just cover it. There is one last project I want to put you guys onto. And this one's just cool. This one is just a real use case here. Let me see if I can share my screen for a little bit and open up Chrome.
You want me to close mine out?
It's all good. I should be able to just override you and kick you out of the chat and ban you forever. No, I'm kidding. JUJU token. This one's cool. If you guys aren't in Miami or you aren't aware, there's actually a Bitcoin mansion in Miami. BTCmansion.com. You can check it out. You can rent it out. But what JUJU Coin is, we're basically tokenizing this mansion. So this project is brand new. They're literally announcing it now as this stream is happening. That's why I was kind of hesitant to mention it on stream or not, but what they're essentially doing is tokenizing this mansion. So there's a bunch of different things they can do. You can use the tokens to rent it out, use it for photo shoots. I believe at some point, if you own over a certain level threshold of tokens, you'll just be able to go. It's a gated mansion. It's worth over $1 million. You'll just be able to go and hang out if you hold a certain threshold above the token balance. I'm not going to shill the contract address. You guys can DYOR on this, but the website, if you do want to check it out, it is btcmansion.com/token. So just a cool project. Literally brand new. They're just launching it this week, but got to look out for the people. Put them on some projects early on.
Great.
I just thought this one's cool because, every day there's a new 99,000 listings on Uniswap. This one actually does something, and you can actually rent out a dope-ass mansion with a pool and a bunch of Lamborghinis in Miami. So although it's fun to buy vaporware coins that do nothing, it's also cool to see a real-world, tangible use case.
Yeah, utility is very important, and tokenizing real estate is a new thing that's going to be more common. So it's good to see new use cases.
Yeah, I mean, I just like the actual tangible part here that I can I just trade this coin on Uniswap, or can I actually do something with it in the real world? So I just kind of like that when we bridge the gap, right, from crypto meme land into the IRL space. So shout out to the Duke. Shout out to JUJU. Shout out to the Bitcoin Mansion. Lil Wayne actually did film a music video there. Funny enough. So this is not a Airbnb in Little Havana. It's an actual mansion in
Awesome.
Golden Glades. Yeah. Did you ever go to it? That might have been pre-Rona when we were throwing down at the mansion.
Yeah. I probably came at a wrong time.
Again, no, it's bitcoinmansion.com/token. That's all I got. Ty, I don't know if you have anything else for the people.
Yeah, man, that's all I got for now, unless we want to talk about Blue Kirby and his exit scam for,
I don't even want to give him the clout, bro. I don't even want to give him the.
Yeah.
We could troll Blue Kirby maybe next stream as we have run out of time here. But
sounds good.
Yeah, good luck if any of you guys got caught up in that. Justin Sun, thanks again, bro, for the shout out. You'll have to pull up sometime when you come down.
Might have to have dinner, at a buffet, with Justin Sun.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be a Warren Buffett $1 million meal with good old boy Justin, but maybe we can hit the Golden Corral up, we'll
get a Warren Buffet,
Warren Buffet, yeah, that's what we'll call it. New token launching soon. Warren Buffet, limited supply. But thank you guys. That's all we got for the show tonight. We'll be back with you next Tuesday. As always, stay safe out there. DYOR. Don't forget to have fun. Thanks, Ty.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you, brother. Peace, guys. Have a good one. If I can hit the end broadcast.